back to the Untouchaballs podcast. Caden and Leo here. Caden, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Mix?
I'm doing splendid. We had a fantastic weekend of football. A lot of good games. A lot of things we said last weekend came true, Caden.
And a lot of things did not.
A lot of things did not. Let's get right into it, beginning with college football. Caden, take us into the first game to discuss.
Yeah, the first game we discussed was that USC-Michigan game. We thought USC and Miller Moss was going to be able to go in there into Ann Arbor and beat Michigan. The exact opposite. They barely threw the ball. Michigan's they leaned on what they should have been leaning on so far the entire year. Their passing attack is not there.
No.
Their quarterback play's not there. Hand the ball off, run it down their throats, and you'll see what happens. In that game, Miller Moss looked great. He threw that one pick. Other than that, he played great.
Yep.
Michigan, though, just went on that last second end of game run where just by handing the ball off, we're able to drive down the field and score that game-winning touchdown as time was nearing expiring.
Caden, that looked like the Michigan team from a year ago.
Exactly.
Right? The same formula that they had the success within the national championship, running the football. It's really not that complicated, Caden. You get a good run game, you're probably going to win the football game.
You're going to be able to get first downs, gain yards, and control the clock, which is what they did.
Sets up your play action, helps your quarterback out so much. Solid victory for the Michigan Wolverines.
Solid victory for Michigan. USC, they didn't look bad. Their defense against the run, they got torched by the run, but Miller Moss still played good. I think USC's still in for a pretty good season.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Obviously.
They look good, yeah.
Take an L, it happens, right? Tough place to go in and get a win. Tough place to go in and get a win.
Yeah, the next game, though, is what I'm really disappointed in. Because Cam Rising didn't even play, and somehow Oklahoma State still loses that game by a field goal. How do you let the backup quarterback play? And you guys forget how to. You look like the Patriots out there on defense. You forgot how to tackle in the open field. You're like, nah.
Struggled against the run.
Dude,
To say the least.
that was bad. Oklahoma State, especially without Cam Rising, Oklahoma State should have been able to go in there and win that game. They didn't do anything offensively the entire game for the last 6 minutes when they put the 2 touchdowns to make it close.
Utah Sound, Caden. Utah's a sound
Yes,
team,
sir.
and they got a very big victory over a very good opponent, Caden. Cannot discredit what the Utes did this weekend. Definitely would have liked to see more of Oklahoma State. I think they kind of fell flat. Caden came out flat. And I think, they're going to have a bounce back week if they want to stay competitive in the Big 12.
Yeah, they need a big bounce out week because BYU went and beat number 13 K-State. Utah wins this game. The Big 12 is looking good this year.
It's a tough conference.
It's a very tough
competitive conference. Another team in that same conference had probably the craziest finish to any college football game I've seen in the recent, last year.
Little Buffalo Magic.
Probably, yeah. Buffalo Magic. Insane game, Caden. Came down to the wire. Buffs, once again, struggled with protection. Struggled, finding rhythm consistently within the offense, Caden. Because they came out good, and then there was that period where the offense was just stagnant and couldn't finish drives.
Yeah, they came out good. They were running the ball up the middle. Were able to find their openings in the passing game. They scored that nice touchdown in the first quarter. Yeah, then the offense went stagnant. They didn't look like they were doing much or were able to do much of anything.
A lot of heavy drizzle, Caden. A lot of heavy rain. Weather was definitely a factor in the game. I'd say the field was definitely torn up after a lot of slippery conditions. We saw a few nothing
too crazy.
Nothing too crazy. I didn't think it affected the game too much. And of course, prayer ball, Shedeur Sanders rolling left as time expires. It was a great game.
Yeah, and I was able to watch this game with a CU diehard, with someone who covers the team. And it was a great NBA. You get the Hail Mary as time expires, sliding in the end zone to make the catch, saving number 14 from
Will Shepherd.
Annihilating the line for dropping that ball.
Oh my gosh, imagine if Will Shepherd didn't catch that ball, Caden.
And then you go into OT, score that touchdown, and then on the goal line, Travis Hunter makes the play of the game, lowering that shoulder, getting that fumble out the back of the end
Travis
zone.
Hunter special, Caden. That's a dog.
That was beautiful.
Play recognition, to be able to recognize, get his teammates in the proper position to make the right play. It was a good team win for Colorado, Caden.
It was a very good team win for Colorado.
Definitely would rather it not come down to the wire, but they're going to have a good opponent in UCF this week.
Yep.
Going to be a good one. Let's move on to the other college football matchup we discussed, Caden.
Well, we had Texas going against ULM. Arch Manning, he left some to be there. There were a couple of picks out there, but other than that, he looked good. Texas did what they were supposed to do, shut down ULM.
They did what they're supposed to do, Caden. In the picks, it's going to be a learning process.
It's going to be a learning. First career start. And I think overall, Arch Manning did what he needed to do. He did well, did what he needed to do. But then, the big nightcap after that, ended up going pretty much ending at the same time because that's crazy ending in the CU game.
Yeah.
But we had the Tennessee Volunteers going into Sooner territory and coming out with the victory and the 7. They were able to cover that touchdown.
Yes.
And more, winning by 10 against that Oklahoma team.
Solid victory for the Volunteers, Caden.
With probably one of the worst safeties in all of football history. Getting sacked, he just launches that thing behind him.
I'm not sure, Cade. OU's offensive line struggled, Cade.
Yeah.
I think that was a difference in the game. The trenches for Oklahoma really could not compete with the Volunteers.
But what was Jackson Arnold doing there? The Volunteers look good. They look like an SEC school, a top SEC school.
Yes.
You have your Georgia, your Texas, Bama, and then it's probably that Tennessee Ole Miss right there.
Yeah, definitely good point, Cade. Those teams are right there in the mix. A lot of football left to be played. It's been an exciting college football season.
Oh, very.
Lots to look forward to. And even, sidetrack, one of the other games I think we should mention that we watched late Friday night, Caden.
Oh, the insane game? The best game of the season so far? Yeah, so a little background. We recorded that pod Friday night that you guys saw Saturday morning. And then we started watching a movie. We're like, cool, this looks good. I check my phone and see that Washington State and San Jose State is a 1-score game with 2 minutes left. So we're like, oh, we have to throw this on.
Throw it on.
And in return, we saw one of the greatest finishes ever.
Not only one of the greatest finishes ever, Caden, a shootout, but
Noah Nash, the best receiver in college football. This receiver on San Jose State, if you guys don't know, look at his stats. It is insane what he's doing through 4 weeks of the college football season.
Nice, Caden. I love the play call from San Jose State. I love what their coach was able to do. I think he put them schematically in good position to succeed, and that was a great close game.
Great close game, yeah. We go into overtime. San Jose State throws a pick. But then instead of just running the ball,
kicking the field goal,
Wazoo then throws a pick. Go to double OT. Wazoo gets the tutty, gets the 2-point. Noah Nash scores the second tutty in the game. But then they fail the 2-point, and the final score of 52-54 in favor of Wazoo to get to 4-0.
It was a fantastic game.
It was a beautiful Friday night cap.
Ending. I believe that's all the college football, though.
That's all the college football.
We had to talk about transitioning over National Football League, Caden. We talked about some big games. Give us started with the first one. Recap.
We were both. You're wearing the Broncos shirt.
I'm wearing the Broncos shirt.
And even with that, you were unbiased. You're like, it seems like a game where the Bucks should be able to roll.
Yes.
And then the exact opposite. Sean Payton opened that playbook, and Bo Nix looked good.
Which I need to add. Shout out Amir Farrell from Broncos Avenue. Let me know late Saturday night that Sean Payton career is now 9-0 against Todd Bowles. And his offense before this game prior averaged 30 yards a clip against Todd Bowles. Information I wish I would have known before we recorded the podcast. But hey, this looked like the preseason Denver Broncos team. Great movement with Bo Nix, allowing him to get outside the pocket, make plays with his legs. Actually threw the ball deep, came out first play with a beautiful back shoulder throw to Cortland Sutton. And the rhythm just looked right with the team, okay? In the pass game, at least.
Oh, for sure.
Running game still left some to be desired with the Broncos. I think there might be some talks about Javonte Williams moving forward, whether or not he stays as that running back one. I liked what I saw from McLaughlin and definitely liked what I saw from Batty when he played. Overall, it's a solid team win. Of course, Pastor Tan shut down Mike Evans, made him a non-factor.
That Bucs offense did not look like anything we'd seen through the first 2 weeks of the season.
And that Broncos defense played like what they've showed in the first 2 weeks before they got tired. And that goes to show you, when your offense stays on the field and generates points, that Broncos defense can win some football games.
Oh, for sure, yeah. They have the best corner in football on their team.
Yes.
Who was able to lock down Mike Evans. And with that, Baker Mayfield didn't look like how he'd been looking the back half last season going into and then started a little off timing, just a little off. The whole way, their whole offense did the entire game.
Not only that, Kate, might have added, the Broncos fan base in attendance made their presence known in Tampa Bay. It was a sea of orange. And I don't know if you were able to hear the end of the game. There was by the time the Buccaneers fans cleared out, you would hear Broncos chants.
A lot
of Broncos fans.
Hey, they do travel well.
It was a good road victory for them, Kate.
Very good victory for them. I'll give them that. That was a good victory for the Broncos.
Another game we discussed.
Yeah, we called it, it was a must-win for both teams. We had the Ravens and the Cowboys. That first half looked like the Ravens were going to absolutely dominate the entire game.
Up until almost the fourth quarter.
Almost the fourth quarter, but then their offense Their offense stalled. They weren't able to move the ball at all. And Dak Prescott and that Dallas offense were finally starting to pick them apart and show that they are able to put up points pretty easily.
Yes, we talked about how the matchup was there for Cowboys.
Yeah.
They seemed like they just couldn't get it going until late. Yeah. And of course, it was almost another fourth quarter collapse for the Ravens game.
It was almost what we saw with the Raiders. Brandon, they recovered one onside kick. It was way too close. Way more close than it should have been, the way the Ravens were controlling that game.
We talked about how the Ravens needed to have a run game if they were going to win, which they did.
Derrick Henry looked amazing.
Yes, Derrick Henry had his best game as a Raven. That run game was a big factor of why they won that football game. But you have to finish.
I mean, they got the win. That's good. They're finally in the win column, but it shouldn't have been a 3-point game. It should have been the margin of victory should not have been that low for how well they dominated that game for the first 3 quarters.
And looking at the division, of course, you have the Bengals now who are 0-3, and you have the Steelers who are 3-0. So the Steelers right now got to be looking and feeling pretty good.
The way their defense has been playing so far this year, especially because you're 3-0 with Justin Fields at quarterback. You guys have not been putting up points. Your defense is just playing good enough to.
Yes.
You're holding the opposing offense to nothing, so all you got to do is put up a couple touchdowns and you're good. You win the game.
Of course, Caden. Take us into the Sunday Night Football match.
Sunday Night Football game. Chiefs, Falcons. Started off good. Looked like we were going to be in for a high-scoring affair. Big one to Drake London. Big one to Rashee Wright. Like 2 quick touchdowns. Great first half. Then the second half, it was mainly, it looked like the Chiefs might run away with it. They were never able to really pull that far ahead. But then we get to the ending. A little controversial call in the end zone.
Controversial call. No call, correction. Once again, the Kansas City Chiefs, we've talked about it on this pod before, getting bailed out by the refs. No surprise there, Peyton.
Clear pass interference on Kyle Pitts in the back of the end zone. Should have set him up on the one for probably a Bijan handoff up the middle for what would have been a go-ahead touchdown. The Chiefs could have still then scored and gone ahead and won the game. Either way, that's a call that is pass interference and should be called.
And we've saw him thrown in almost every game we've watched together. We've seen that thrown at least once.
So a play like that is the refs are going to throw the flag on that.
We saw it in college. We saw it in the Colorado game. Yep. And we just saw it in the Monday Night Football game.
We just saw that.
We watched as well.
Exactly. For them not to call that, like I said, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs. I will say though, shout out Justin Simmons. We told you guys on the podcast, if you would have listened Saturday morning, that he was going to be the X factor for the Falcons, that he had the insight, and of course, what did he go and do?
Intercepted Patrick once again.
In that spot of the end zone, for whatever reason, that's about the 3rd interception he's had in that quadrant of the end zone, Caden. So if Patrick Mahomes, you're looking to throw that forward right pylon on Justin Simmons, don't even bother.
Don't bother.
Don't even bother. Don't even bother. Chiefs took care of business, did what we thought they were going to do. Another team who did exactly what we said they were going to do, the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, like we said, Trevor Lawrence, not that good. Jaguars, not that good. The Bills were able to just absolutely dominate that game. Josh Allen had his best game of the season by far, looking like an MVP version of Josh Allen. Was able to just throw it down the field, was able to take off and run. The Bills' offense looked amazing. Their defense held the Jags at 10 points. Like,
this game was over after the first quarter, Caden.
Oh, easily, yeah.
You could just tell that the Bills were the better team. They dominated in all aspects and really just put on a good show. Good quality statement win. Get in, get your dub, get out.
Good complete game out of the Bills right there. Yeah, it was defense, special team. Everything was good there. Like, they dominated the game from start to finish.
Even in the second half, in that third quarter, when the Jaguars went down and scored a touchdown, they then again didn't allow any points after that game. They re-tightened up and finished the game.
Yeah, finished the game. You win 47-10. Like, nothing more you can ask for.
Nothing more you can ask for. A quality win. Another quality win, Caden. Washington.
One of the biggest surprises of Jaden Daniels. Stud.
And if you guys know, last year CJ Stroud was my guy. And I don't know if I've said it on this pod or not because we've had the gap from their summer break. But for those who have been around and know, Jaden Daniels was my quarterback this year that I said was going to be that rookie to come in and set the tone. Have him on the fantasy team, by the way, which is stacked. Caden, come on.
He's got a good team. I can't lie. He's got a good team.
Let me just throw out a few names: Saquon Barkley, Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Drake London. The team's deep. The team put up a good win, Caden. Commanders went in, put up a good win.
And they finally started airing the ball a little bit more. Terry McLaurin was finally involved in the offense. What did that lead to? Over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And that set up really everything else, Caden. And Jaden Daniels making plays with his legs. Anytime the Commanders needed a 3rd down, Caden, or a 4th down, you know what I'm saying? That it came down to it, they got it done.
Yeah, they were able to get done, and then the Bengals at the end really weren't. Like, they were settling for field goals.
Yes.
While the Commies were out there getting their touchdowns.
Bengals just once again look off, Caden. It's still early, but 0-3 is a big hole to try to dig yourself out of.
Especially in the competitive AFC North.
And competitive AFC North, competitive AFC in general.
Yeah. Much better conference than the NFC.
Yes.
And now you're starting 0-3 when
Yes.
you got the 3-0 Steelers and the Ravens right there.
Well, it was a fantastic week of games. Should have another beautiful weekend of games coming up. You guys will hear from us Friday morning at 9, I believe. This week, I'll be on a plane traveling out of town. But other than that, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you all next time.